Welcome to Tamara Tattletales. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. Married at First Sight Season 13 Houston? Man, there's so much drama surrounding this season. Well, Bao and Johnny sat down with the Houston Chronicle to do an exclusive interview about what the cameras didn't show. As for the timing of this interview, according to Bao, it took place on November 30th. Now, the whole Zack situation with him sleeping around with other women was revealed right around the same time, like on the 29th or the 30th. So it's very possible that Bao went into this interview with the Zack situation weighing heavy on her mind. It was noted that Bao declined to comment on the current status of her relationship with Zack during this interview. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure to check out this video for the full breakdown. Now, the Houston Chronicle is a website that requires payment in order to view their content, so I don't want to risk getting in trouble by showing excerpts of the video of their interview, so I'm going to do my best to summarize it for you. So let's get into it. So it starts off with Bao, and she says the first big straw for her was being uninvited to the family barbecue. Now, Johnny's family personally extended an invitation to her to come while at a different event. So Johnny rescinded an invitation that he didn't extend in the first place. Anyway, at the time of the invitation, his family challenged her and said they were going to test her to learn every family member's name in Mandarin and in birth order. She does not speak Mandarin, and it was like 9 or 10 people. They said if she didn't win, then she would have to wash all of the dishes from the barbecue. So she studied and learned all of their names. And if you recall that scene on the show, we were given the impression that she was being a little over the top or OCD about trying to learn everyone's name.
Oh shoot, I was supposed to memorize their names in Mandarin to see his family. I need to memorize everybody's names.
But now we know why she was doing it. Anyway, as the barbecue was winding down, one of Johnny's aunts texted Bao to come over to the barbecue, so she went, but it wasn't filmed. She said she ate and they gave her some advice. At one point, the aunts and one of Johnny's uncles asked Bao and Johnny to sit within this half circle of family members and fight in front of them. They said, "We want to hear what your disagreements are, and when we as your family, because you're part of our family now too, Bao, see something off with what either one of you are saying, we'll point it out." She felt awkward about the idea and a little pressured, but she did it and they got into it. They started fighting. So Johnny's aunts kept interrupting Johnny and saying things like, "Johnny, do you hear your tone? Can you say that a little more nicely? Johnny, all we keep hearing from you is me this and me that. You're married now. It should be a we. What about her feelings?" So eventually Johnny got mad and just shut down. And Bao said she tried to smooth things over by saying things like, "Oh, I don't think he really meant it when he said that," or "he didn't mean it to come off that way when he said this." But Johnny was furious. So the next day, he told the producer that Bao turned his whole family against him. And Bao said that's why he didn't want her out, because she's such a strong mastermind manipulator that she was able to turn his whole family against him. She told the producer, how could that be? These are the people that raised him. They love him unconditionally. They just want the best for him, and they will take his side over hers any day. What Johnny was saying didn't make sense to Bao, but she says he took that incident and held it against her throughout the season. See, that right there? That's her at work. That's her at play. That's who she is. Now, they interviewed Johnny and Bao on the same day, it seems, but not together. Some of the topics Bao commented on were either not brought up to Johnny or were not included, and vice versa when it came to Bao's questions. So Johnny said that every week they would get 2 days off where they didn't have to film to catch up on work and personal things or whatever. Johnny scheduled dates for he and Bao to get to know one another on those days, like a coffee, dates, check out a new restaurant. I mean, he only named 2 examples, so I don't know how true this is. During their beach date that we saw on their honeymoon, he asked Bao why she seemed so awkward and couldn't be herself. She said the lights and cameras made her feel like she couldn't relax. So Johnny said the moments during the dates he planned off camera were great and amazing, and that's part partially why he said yes on decision day. Like, what if life with Bao was like those 2 days when no one is listening and no one cares what they say to one another? He could see it potentially being the start of something good. He said that he really liked who she was off camera, and it was this is what I'm gonna say, this is what I'm willing to reveal on camera Bao that he didn't like. But he said the off-camera moments were few and far between because they were interrupted by the stress of filming, like being on camera and scripted conversations. Those were his words, scripted conversations, being told what to talk about, showing up and being told which activities they were doing for the day. He said those 2 months they spend together are not a natural relationship. You can't figure out if you want to spend the rest of your life with someone within those 2 months. However, Bao completely contradicted Johnny and said they didn't spend that much time together during the off hours because Johnny was barely in the apartment. Johnny could work from home, and he worked from home for the first couple of weeks, but after that, he stopped working in the apartment. It was like he gave up and only came to the apartment to film. She said she lived there the entire time. Like, there was not a lot of interaction between the two of them. She said even their text messages were like very like cordial, like no chemistry, like very like matter of fact. So it would confuse her when he would say a lot happened off camera. It felt like a lot of it was saved for the camera so he could be emotional on camera. She said he would bring his friends over to hang out at the rooftop of their apartment, knowing that she's kind of a loner and would just stay in the room. He didn't make much of an effort to spend time with her. She believes when he's saying that she needs to be accountable for her behavior, he's projecting his behavior onto her. When he accuses her of being calculating and manipulative, she's like, are you sure you're not that sometimes? That you're not accusing me of doing things that you do? She can't control how someone else is going to react or respond, that she could only control what she does, and to her, that's taking accountability. She felt like he would often twist things that she would say sometimes. She didn't understand why he seemed like so hell-bent on taking her down. And those are her words. He was hell-bent on taking her down. Like, hello, I'm your wife. She said it always felt like they were adversaries, and she didn't understand what she did to cause that. During this interview, Johnny owned the bad moments and acknowledged that he could have expressed himself better. Even though Bao said no on decision day, Johnny went ahead and hosted a birthday party for Bao at their Married at First Sight apartment. It was just a few days after decision day, and according to the article, some castmates and some of Bao's friends attended and enjoyed tacos and margaritas. Now, this photo is not part of the article. Well, none of the images in this video were part of the article, but this is one I found on Bao's Facebook page several months ago. I suspect it was taken at this birthday party and Bao took the picture. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Moving on, Johnny elaborated on his comment to Pastor Cal when he said, I wish I had been matched with literally anyone else. He expected to get someone like himself, a fly by the seat of your pants and then adjust as you go. A person who approached the show with an open mindset and was willing to share it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Instead, he said he felt that Bao had a predefined path for them. Like, why control the narrative? Just let the narrative happen. I wanted to feel less like I was an actor in a show and more like I was just living my life with someone I just met. We both committed to marrying one another. We're trying to get to know one another. If this is a true documentary, let's just live naturally and let that happen. As for their relationship now, Bao and I's relationship has kind of gone south, but I thought we would at least leave as friends and be more than what we came in as, because we came in as acquaintances. As for he and Mirla, although they talked about it, they are, however, just friends. He said the 10 of them would get together and talk about the things they argued about as a couple, and others would chime in and say like, oh, I wouldn't have argued with you about this, or I wouldn't have argued about that. He and Mirla were on the same page financially. The way they value money and spend it, they are very much the same, but he'd rather hold on to their friendship forever rather than mess it up by dating. And Johnny said, I can't imagine actually dating anyone else from our season. It's just too weird. I've seen too much. Now, they asked Dr. Viviana about Bao and Zack's relationship. She said she initially blew it off when she heard the rumors because she didn't see it. Like, she couldn't picture them as a couple. I was shocked, she said, so shocked that she asked them about it herself. I talked to both of them, and one thing they did ask me is, would you have matched us? And I said, well, based off the answers of some of the clear deal breakers, no. And I shared with them what those were and why, and they both looked at each other and said, oh yeah, we wouldn't have been matched. What the article didn't mention is is when this conversation took place, during or after the season, because they claim the relationship started after, but it kind of sounds like that conversation could have been during. So that's the article, and I'm curious to know what you all think. If this filled in some blanks for you and perhaps change your mind on how you think of either of them, let me know in the comments.